If you are over 60, this single message could genuinely save your life. A stroke almost never sends a warning. One moment, you feel perfectly fine, and in the very next, your speech begins to slip away, your arm refuses to lift, or your sense of balance completely vanishes. As a neurologist, I have witnessed far too many older adults suffer devastating brain damage, not from tragic accidents or lifelong bad habits, but from something they truly believed was helping them: their daily vitamins. Every single day, millions of seniors reach for supplements to protect their hearts, to boost their energy, or to sharpen their memory. But here is the critical truth that no one is telling you. Certain very common vitamins, especially when taken in high doses or at the wrong time of day, can silently, dangerously, raise your stroke risk overnight. You might think you're making a healthy choice, but your brain may be paying the ultimate price in silence. In this video, I will reveal 5 specific vitamins that could dramatically increase your risk of brain bleeds, dangerous blood clots, or sudden, severe spikes in blood pressure, especially during those vulnerable early morning hours when your brain is least protected. You will hear the real, first-hand stories from my patients, each backed by solid science, and you will learn exactly what you should be doing instead to truly safeguard your brain. Stay with me, because the vitamins sitting in your cabinet right now may be doing far more harm than good. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I strongly recommend you hit that button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss another vital health insight designed just for you. And as we go, if you find this information valuable, let me know by typing the word POWER in the comments below. It helps me understand what content helps you the most. 1. Vitamin D, the sunshine pill that could turn deadly overnight. You've been told it's essential for bone health, a mood booster, and a non-negotiable part of aging. And while that contains some truth, it's only a fraction of the full story. What a shocking number of seniors don't realize is that too much vitamin D, or taking it at the incorrect time, can quietly steer your brain into a perilous zone, potentially causing a stroke while you are sound asleep. I vividly remember a patient of mine, Mr. Arthur Wells, a proud, retired Air Force veteran. He was active, incredibly sharp, and took immense pride in meticulously managing his own health. Every morning, with military precision, he would line up his vitamins, including a high-dose vitamin D supplement he'd purchased online, 10,000 IU daily. The stronger, the better, he once told me with a confident smile, believing he was fortifying his bones. What he didn't know was that he was methodically, day by day, setting himself up for a catastrophe. One morning, his wife found him disoriented, unable to form coherent sentences, with a pronounced weakness in his right arm. He had suffered a silent, devastating stroke in his sleep. When we ran his blood work, his calcium levels were alarmingly high. This condition, called hypercalcemia, had made his arteries dangerously stiff. His blood pressure was erratic, and the delicate blood vessels in his brain were under immense, unrelenting pressure. The culprit? Vitamin D toxicity. You see, when seniors take these high doses without medical supervision, it can cause calcium to flood the bloodstream. Your body, overwhelmed, doesn't know where to put it all, so it begins depositing that calcium into your blood vessels, making them hard, narrow, and frighteningly prone to clotting. And where do you think that clot is most likely to travel? Straight to your brain. As we age, our arteries naturally lose their flexibility. Add in factors like mild dehydration overnight and that sudden spike in calcium, and you've created the perfect storm for a stroke. What makes this so terrifying is the complete lack of warning signs. You go to bed feeling perfectly fine, and the next morning, your speech is slurred, your arm won't move, or your memory is gone. Just like that. And let's be brutally honest, most over-the-counter vitamin D supplements sold in the U.S. come in dosages far higher than what most seniors actually need. Many people are taking 5,000 to 10,000 IU every single day, operating under the dangerous assumption that more is better. However, research clearly shows that for older adults, even 2,000 IU daily can be excessive if you're not clinically deficient. The cost of that simple mistake? Your independence, your speech, your ability to hold your grandchildren. It could even cost you your life. If you are taking vitamin D, especially if you're also on calcium or certain heart medications, it is absolutely critical to have your blood levels checked regularly and to take it in the morning with food, not at night. Never self-prescribe high doses. And never, ever assume a vitamin can't be dangerous. Because sometimes, what looks like a harmless daily habit is the very thing putting your brain at risk while you sleep. Now, if that was a surprise, you won't believe what happens when you combine your morning pills with another healthy vitamin that most people don't even think twice about. Let's talk about vitamin E. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment with the word power below to let me know you're with me. Now, let's move on to point number 2. 2. Vitamin E, the heart-healthy supplement that can trigger a brain hemorrhage. Most seniors take vitamin E believing it's a champion for their heart, their skin, and their immune system. And yes, in the correct, small dose, it can offer benefits. But what many people, especially those over 65, are not told is that vitamin E can quietly transform into one of the most dangerous supplements in your medicine cabinet, particularly if you're taking blood thinners or have high blood pressure. I remember one patient with startling clarity. Mrs. Eleanor Vance, 81 years old, a retired librarian from Vermont. Sharp as a tack, an avid reader, always meticulously aware of her health. She was on warfarin for a heart valve condition, and her levels were perfectly managed. But without consulting her doctor, she added a natural vitamin E capsule she read about in a health magazine, 800 IU daily. I just wanted to help my memory and circulation, she later explained to me. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the emergency room with a sudden onset of confusion, a splitting headache, and violent vomiting. A brain scan revealed a hemorrhagic stroke, a bleed deep inside her brain. The cause wasn't an accident or even uncontrolled blood pressure. It was the lethal combination of her prescribed warfarin and the high-dose vitamin E, both of which were thinning her blood to the point where a tiny, fragile vessel in her brain simply burst. You see, vitamin E acts as a natural anticoagulant. Taken alone in a high dose, it can pose a risk. But when you combine it with medications like aspirin, Plavix, or powerful blood thinners like Eliquis or warfarin, it can push your blood's ability to clot right over a cliff. As we age, our blood vessels become inherently more fragile. One tiny rupture, and your entire life can change in an instant. Brain bleeds don't just affect your memory. They can rob you of your ability to see, to speak, to walk, to live independently. And often, they happen with no warning at all. You go to sleep fine and wake up in an ambulance, if you're lucky. What's even more concerning is that many vitamin supplements sold in the US contain far more vitamin E than seniors require. The recommended daily intake for older adults is only about 15 milligrams, which is roughly 22 IU. Yet most common supplements start at 200, 400, or even 1,000 IU per capsule, and people take them daily without a single second thought. You might think it's harmless, but if you're over 65 and on any kind of blood thinner, you're essentially gambling with your brain every single time you swallow that pill. Mrs. Vance survived, but she now relies on a walker and struggles with her short-term memory. She told me later, through tears, "I just wanted to help myself. I had no idea I was causing such harm." Let me be clear, not every vitamin is safe just because it's sold over the counter. If you are on any medication, especially for your heart or blood, you must talk to your doctor before adding any new supplement. And if this makes you nervous, it should. But what's even more shocking? There's a common nerve vitamin many older adults use for energy that may be silently damaging your brain and balance over time. Let's talk about vitamin B6. 3. Vitamin B6, the nerve helper that can slowly rob you of balance and brain control. If you're over 60, chances are you've heard that vitamin B6 is great for energy, nerve health, and even memory. You might have seen it promoted online or featured in a senior brain support formula at the pharmacy. But what no one warns you about, and what I have seen firsthand in my own practice, is that too much vitamin B6 can cause irreversible nerve damage, a condition called peripheral neuropathy, especially in older adults. Let me tell you about Mr. Henry Peterson, age 76, a retired truck driver from Colorado. He came to my office complaining of a creeping numbness in his feet, serious trouble keeping his balance, and a strange, persistent sensation in his hands, like pins and needles that never went away. At first, he dismissed it as just a part of getting older. But then he started falling. First it was once, then again in his bathroom. It wasn't until his third fall, when he hit his head and ended up in the ER with a mild concussion, that he sought help. When I reviewed his daily medications and supplements, something immediately stood out. He had been taking a high-dose, nerve support, vitamin daily for over a year. The label promised it supported circulation and brain function, but the fine print revealed it contained 100 milligrams of vitamin B6 per tablet. That's over 50 times the recommended daily amount for a senior. And even worse, he had been taking 2 tablets a day, believing it was helping him. What was actually happening was chronic B6 toxicity. Unlike some other vitamins that your body simply flushes out, excess vitamin B6 can accumulate in your nervous system over time. It slowly begins to damage the protective myelin sheath around your nerves, almost like stripping the insulation off an electrical wire. The danger is compounded because many people don't realize they're already getting B6 from fortified foods like breakfast cereals, bread, and energy drinks. This creates a hidden overdose. Your well-intentioned supplement on top of your daily diet can push your system into a toxic state without you ever knowing it. This leads directly to numbness, muscle weakness, tremors, a loss of coordination, and even cognitive issues that mimic dementia. The scariest part is that this nerve damage can become permanent. Many seniors mistake these symptoms for arthritis, normal aging, or even the early stages of Alzheimer's. In reality, they may be walking around with a silent, preventable neurotoxic condition caused by a pill they thought was helping them. Mr. Peterson was lucky we caught it early enough to halt the progression, but his balance never fully returned. He now uses a cane and has had to limit his driving. "I thought I was protecting my brain," he told me, his voice filled with regret. "I didn't realize I was poisoning it." Here is the unvarnished truth. Older adults should never take high doses of B6 without direct medical supervision. The safe daily limit for seniors is around 1.7 to 2 milligrams, and even that depends on your diet, kidney function, and other medications. No one tells you that the brain vitamins sold in stores, especially those targeted at seniors, often contain megadoses far beyond what the body safely needs. The long-term cost isn't just numb fingers, it's falls, broken bones, traumatic brain injuries, or worse, losing your independence altogether. Still think all vitamins are harmless? Then you need to hear what happens when another popular vitamin, one you probably think protects your eyesight, starts increasing the pressure inside your brain. Let's talk about vitamin A. If you're finding these insights valuable, take a moment to write the word balance in the comments below. Let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Vitamin A, the vision booster that can secretly build pressure inside your brain. Vitamin A is one of those supplements that just sounds innocent, maybe even essential. We hear it's good for our eyesight, immune health, and skin. But what is rarely, if ever, discussed, especially with older adults, is how too much vitamin A can quietly accumulate in your body, dangerously increasing the pressure inside your skull and, in some cases, leading to a brain emergency that perfectly mimics a stroke. I will never forget Ms. Lydia Croft, age 79, a retired piano teacher from Pennsylvania. She came to see me after weeks of worsening headaches, blurred vision, and persistent dizziness. At first, her family worried it might be the onset of dementia, but when she started slurring her words and struggling to maintain her balance, they feared something far worse, a stroke. The MRI scan showed no clot and no bleed, but it did reveal elevated intracranial pressure. Her spinal fluid was backing up, and the tiny, delicate veins in her brain were under extreme stress. It wasn't caused by a tumor or an injury. It was her daily vitamin A supplement, a skin and eye health formula she had been faithfully taking for years. The problem is this: vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means, unlike vitamin C or B vitamins, it doesn't easily leave your body. It builds up in your liver, your tissues, and over time, in your brain. Seniors are especially vulnerable to this because liver function naturally declines with age, and many don't realize their daily multivitamin already contains a full day's dose before they add another high-dose supplement on top. Excess vitamin A, particularly the retinol form found in many animal-based supplements, can lead to a serious condition called pseudotumor cerebri, or a false brain tumor. This is where the body acts as if a tumor is present, even when there isn't one. The symptoms are terrifyingly similar to a stroke: severe headaches, blurred or double vision, nausea, dizziness, and in severe cases, permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. When I asked Ms. Croft how much vitamin A she had been taking, her answer stunned me. Nearly 10,000 IU per day, for over 5 years. No doctor had ever warned her. She thought, it's just a vitamin. But now, she requires regular eye exams, ongoing pressure checks, and she is still working to recover her balance months later. Her independence was shaken. Her confidence shattered. That is the price nobody ever talks about. The fear that comes when your own brain and body betray you, all because of something you believed was safe. For older adults, the safe upper limit for vitamin A is around 3,000 IU daily, and that's only if it's truly needed. Anything above that, especially long-term, must be carefully monitored by a doctor. So before you reach for that anti-aging or vision support pill, ask yourself, do you truly know what's in it? Do you really need it? And is your brain quietly paying the price? Because while vitamin A can sharpen your sight, it can also blur the very future you're trying to protect. And if that makes you pause, wait until you hear about the vitamin hiding in heart pills and breakfast cereals that can suddenly spike your blood pressure and trigger dangerous vessel spasms in your brain. Let's talk about niacin. 5. Niacin, the cholesterol vitamin that can quietly spike your blood pressure and strain your brain. Niacin, also known as vitamin B3, is frequently praised as a natural method to lower cholesterol. It's sold in heart health supplements, it's added to fortified cereals, and it's sometimes even prescribed by doctors. But what most people over 60 are not aware of is that niacin, especially in high, non-prescription doses, can provoke sudden, dramatic changes in blood pressure, put significant stress on the heart, and constrict blood vessels. This effect can be dangerous, as it creates a volatile environment within the circulatory system. Repeated constriction and dilation of blood vessels can weaken them over time. This process can be particularly risky for the delicate arteries in the brain, setting up a dangerous scenario for a stroke. I'll never forget Mr. David Carter, 82 years old, a retired postman from Florida. He came to see me complaining of intense facial flushing, a pounding sensation in his chest, and waves of dizziness that would appear and disappear each morning. His wife thought it was anxiety. His son suspected it might be a reaction to his blood pressure medication. But what we discovered shocked them all. David had been taking a heart-healthy supplement he bought online. The front of the bottle boldly advertised its benefits for cholesterol and circulation. The back label, however, revealed it contained 1,000 milligrams of niacin per serving, which he was taking twice a day. That is more than 60 times the recommended daily amount for a senior. Here's what was happening inside his body. Every time he took that high dose of niacin, it caused his blood vessels to dilate rapidly. That's what caused the intense flush and feeling of warmth. But shortly after, as a rebound effect, those same vessels would constrict forcefully. That sudden constriction spiked his blood pressure, strained his already aging heart, and critically reduced blood flow to essential areas of his brain. Over time, this on-again, off-again pressure pattern was like repeatedly striking a fragile piece of glass with a hammer. It was only a matter of time before something cracked. And it did. David experienced a transient ischemic attack, a TIA, often called a mini-stroke. His speech slurred for about 2 minutes, then returned to normal. He thought it was just a strange fluke. But I had to deliver the hard truth. His vitamin regimen wasn't helping his heart. It was actively harming his brain. This is the side of niacin nobody talks about. In high doses, it doesn't just lower cholesterol. It can trigger atrial fibrillation, increase insulin resistance, and constrict cerebral arteries, especially in people over 65 who already have high blood pressure or heart conditions. And the worst part? You don't need a prescription to buy these megadoses. Many seniors unknowingly take these supplements, thinking they're doing the right thing. But the consequences can be life-altering. Strokes, heart rhythm problems, or even sudden falls from dizziness. David is now recovering, no longer on niacin, and is closely monitored. Thankfully, he has no permanent damage. But he told me, "Doc, I just wanted to live longer. I didn't know I was gambling with my own brain." If you're taking a supplement for your heart, read the label carefully. Look for terms like flush-free niacin or time-release niacin, and be wary of anything over 50 milligrams. And please, talk to your doctor before continuing. Sometimes, what's good for the heart isn't good for the brain. And while we're on the topic of prevention, did you know that what you eat in the morning may protect your brain better than any pill ever could? Let's talk about the safest, smartest food choices that support your brain and could help you avoid the risk of stroke altogether. 6. What to eat instead? Foods that fuel your brain without risking a stroke. After everything we've covered, the hidden dangers lurking in common vitamins, you might be wondering, so what's left? What is actually safe? The truth is, your body was not designed to depend on isolated chemicals and pills for its nourishment. It was engineered to thrive on real, whole foods. Nutrient-rich, natural, and perfectly balanced. For older adults, making the right food choices can protect your brain, stabilize your blood pressure, and lower your stroke risk far more reliably and safely than most supplements ever could. Let me tell you about Mrs. Clara Bishop, age 73, a retired school principal from Arizona. When she first came to see me, she arrived with a drawer full of bottles, a multivitamin, extra B vitamins for energy, high-dose D for her bones, niacin for cholesterol, vitamin E for her heart, and a handful of others. "I'm doing everything right, Doc," she insisted. But her blood pressure was steadily climbing. She felt dizzy every morning, and her balance was noticeably off. We carefully went through every single supplement, and together, we cleared the clutter. Then, we built a new plan, not with more pills, but with what was on her plate. Her breakfast became beautifully simple. One boiled egg, half an avocado on a slice of whole grain toast, a small handful of fresh blueberries, and a glass of room-temperature water. Sometimes she would add a few walnuts. There were no processed foods, no sugar-laden, vitamin-packed cereals. Just real food with natural nutrients and forms her body could actually recognize and absorb. Within a few weeks, the dizziness completely faded. Her blood pressure began to stabilize. Her energy returned, not in a jittery spike, but as a steady, reliable hum. Her mind felt sharper. What had changed wasn't just what she ate. It was how she was fueling her brain with what nature had always intended. You see, your brain is a living, breathing organ, not a machine you can simply tune up with a capsule. It requires constant hydration, consistent fuel, an abundance of healthy fats, and a slow, steady release of energy throughout the day. The best way to provide that: leafy greens like spinach and kale for their folate and antioxidants. Fatty fish like salmon for their brain-building omega-3s. Berries for their powerful polyphenol that protect brain cells from damage. Nuts and seeds for their natural vitamin E and magnesium. Whole grains to stabilize your blood sugar and improve blood flow. And if you're still tempted by those brightly colored bottles in the supplement aisle, remember this powerful lesson. Too much of a good thing, especially when it comes to isolated vitamins, can quietly become a threat. Mrs. Bishop later told me, "I thought all those pills were keeping me alive. It turns out, they were just slowing me down." So if you are serious about protecting your memory, your balance, and your independence, start with your meals, not your medicine cabinet. And now, after hearing the truth behind these 5 common vitamins and what to eat instead, you may be wondering, how many seniors are unknowingly walking toward a stroke each morning, just by following advice they thought was safe? Stay with me, because in this final message, I'll reveal why awareness, not more pills, may be the most powerful medicine you have left. The final wake-up call. Awareness is the medicine that saves lives. If you have made it this far into the video, you are not just someone who is curious about health. You are someone who deeply cares about protecting your mind, your independence, and your future. And I want to say something to you, clearly and truthfully. It is not the pills you take that matter most. It's what you understand about them. I have been a neurologist for over 3 decades. I have held the hands of patients in the aftermath of a stroke, and I have watched families struggle to adjust to a new reality with a loved one who could no longer speak or remember their name. And I have also watched strong, vibrant, capable people lose everything, not because of one single, catastrophic mistake, but because of small, seemingly innocent choices repeated day after day, often in the name of staying healthy. The vitamins we've discussed today, D, E, B6, A, and niacin, are not evil. They are simply powerful, and that is precisely why they demand our respect. When you are over 60, your body does not process supplements the same way it did when you were 30. Your kidneys, your liver, your blood vessels, they all work differently. They all become more sensitive. What once seemed harmless can now be the very thing that tips your balance, elevates your blood pressure, disturbs your heart rhythm, or silently damages the delicate vessels in your brain. The true tragedy is that most seniors take these vitamins with the best of intentions. They want to be strong for their spouse. They want to remember their grandchildren's names. They want to keep driving, keep walking, keep living life on their own terms. That is what we all want. But the path to that future is not paved with more bottles. It is paved with more awareness. Take the time to review what you're taking. Read every single label, not just the front. Ask your doctor pointed questions. And above all, listen to your body. Dizziness in the morning, new headaches after taking supplements, sudden trouble with your balance or memory. These are not just signs of aging. These could be signals that your brain is under stress. Remember, this knowledge is not about fear. It's about power. The power to prevent. The power to question. The power to change course before something irreversible happens. You don't have to do this alone. Talk to your loved ones. Share what you've learned today. And if this message opened your eyes, let it open someone else's, too. Because when it comes to your brain health, the best medicine isn't found in a bottle. It's found in the decisions you make, starting tomorrow morning. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share in the comments below. What is the one single thing you've learned today that you plan to apply in your own life? Your comment could be a vital reminder for someone else reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content that empowers you. Thank you for watching. And here's to living life on your own terms.